Hey everyone, welcome, I am MisterBo, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the brand new exotic shotgun, the tractor cannon. Now this is a pretty cool shotgun because it's not really like a shotgun, and you'll see why in just a minute. Now this weapon can be earned through exotic engrams. If you get an exotic engram drop, you might just have the chance to get this tractor cannon. That is the way you can get this weapon. Of course, in the future, Xur might sell it, but at this current time, the only way to get this weapon is through exotic engrams. So let's take a look at this weapon. Firstly, it has a really cool design, and I'll show you what it looks like with an ornament on as well near the end of the video. So the description reads, property of Ishtar Collective. Warning, gravity propulsor beam can cause serious injury or even death. So from that description, you can tell this weapon is actually a gravity propulsor beam, which means instead of firing bullets, it's basically going to send out sort of a shockwave that is going to push enemies away from you and then killing them. The intrinsic perk here is the Repulsor Force. This weapon fires a powerful impulse to push enemies away. That's then followed by extended barrel, increases range but decreases handling speed. We then have particle repeater, which increases the stability. The scientific method, damaging an opponent temporarily increases speed and handling. And then finally, composite stock, slightly increases stability, slightly increases handling speed. And like with all exotics, it also has a lore tab. The lore reads for this: Chioma Essie met Maya in the undergraduate gym. They got into an argument about deadlifting. Was it necessary? Was it practical? Why was Chioma making so much noise? Maya Sundaresh just couldn't stand the notion that some things were done for their own sake, not because they had any use. Decades later, they joined the Ishtar Collective on Venus to study enigmatic ruins unearthed by the travelers terraforming. The first time it happened, Vex code leaping across an air gap, surfing the quantum vacuum from simulation to reality, infecting a utility frame. Chioma pulled an alarm while Maya tried to grab the precious frame with a cargo-grade gravity grapple. She couldn't lift the grapple. Chioma grabbed it, pinned the frame to the wall, and won the argument. So let's take a look at this weapon in action, and you'll see how this perk actually works, where you increase your speed and handling. So what I will say, this weapon looks really cool, and it's pretty good against smaller type enemies. However, coming up against bigger enemies, this thing doesn't really seem to do that much damage. You don't really have enough shots in one clip to do a lot of damage without having to reload and then finish the enemy off with the last shot. However, that being said, the scientific method perk here is actually pretty useful, and I reckon this gun might be fairly good in PvP. If you can get that damage off on someone, you get that speed boost and handling boost, which is going to actually play a lot into PvP more than it would do in PvE. So that's where I think this weapon falls. I think it's more of a PvP weapon than it is PvE. As I mentioned earlier, it's probably pretty good for taking out smaller minion enemies, but when you're up against the bigger type enemies, it just doesn't seem to really do enough damage for me. I'd rather much use something else like the Man-O-War fusion rifle that can do a lot more damage than this tractor cannon. It kind of wastes an exotic slot in PvE, as I mentioned, but again, in the Crucible, this thing might be your weapon of choice. If you're just running around in Crucible damaging opponents, you're going to be getting that increased speed and handling, which is going to allow you to move around the map a little bit more easier and take out enemies also a lot more easier. So there you have it. That is the tractor cannon that you can earn via getting it from exotic engrams. Here is the tractor cannon with the ornament on, which you can obviously get from Eververse if you'd like to. It's called Under Construction. I think I do prefer the ornament to the standard version of this gun, so hopefully I can get that from some of these Eververse bright engrams. But there you have it. That is the tractor cannon shotgun. Let me know what you guys think of this exotic weapon. Is it something you're going to be using, and do you think this is going to be a better weapon in PvE or PvP? Let me know in the comments below. If this video helped you out, be sure to give the like button a big old hug, subscribe for more Destiny 2 content and coverage. Hopefully you guys have an awesome day, thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.